Welcome back to the garage here, and we're looking at the Vikings depth chart. Just some really great notes here. You don't have to get very deep into the depth chart to see some great notes about the Vikings this coming season. And obviously, Kirk Cousins is going to be amazing at quarterback for the Vikings this year. That was a great sign. But the biggest note on the quarterback position for the Vikings, the best value, Trevor Siemian. Great trade. Got him from Denver. He's very talented, extremely experienced guy for a 2-year player. He's really good. I'm liking Siemian as the backup. And, of course, number one, we got Slaughter as the third string. Always a little sleeper. You never know. Was a really good sign. Two guys we actually took from Denver, Siemian and Slaughter. Both came from Denver. We signed Slaughter last year. Really, number one. He's going to be good in a couple years, supposedly. Running backs, Dalvin Cook. He's back. Let's get him going. Hopefully he's okay. Don't work him too much in the preseason. Maybe give him the AP treatment. What's that? The one-time play-action look. Give him the play-action look. One play. Get him off the field. He's done. Murray, let's have a solid season. And then I'm wondering what they're going to do with Mac Brown. Are they going to use him a little bit? It's going to be intriguing. I'd like to see. CJ Ham. Wow, was that a great undrafted free agent from Augustana. Man, that was solid. And he's a great player. So, local guy, loving CJ Ham. He's a good guy. All right, the wide receiver position. This is the big one where the Vikings, they're in the top consideration for the best 1-2 wide receiver position guys in the NFL. Thielen and Diggs were really good. We were still got info to go because Diggs still hasn't gotten re-signed yet. So that's interesting to see what happens. Remember him and Barr, both unsigned. We're not really going to go too deep on Barr. But so we got Thielen and Diggs, and then that great sign of Kendall Wright. As a third receiver, he's a guy the Bears didn't know what they were doing last year, honestly. Glad we got him before Nagy got him because we want him. Treadwell, this is the biggest bust there is ever. When you're drafting, if you're in the draft and the two teams in front of you draft wide receiver, and then you draft wide receiver, what position player did you just get in the first round? The third, supposedly best. That's the worst. What are you, the common man? Is he the common man receiver drafted in the first round, the best of the lousiest of the best? So remember that 1, 2, 3. Dotson, Will Fuller, whatever number he is, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and then Treadwell. So obviously he's not going to get his option picked up, and he's going to be gone. But he's only on his third year, so he's got one more 4, and we're going to decline him for 5. So Treadwell's got 2 years to go on the Vikes. Crazy. That's the way it is. But you actually think about it, we're actually getting close to the non-guaranteed portion of that contract. So you never know. They don't really want to eat salary though. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the guys who are for sure at wide receiver for the Vikes. Thielen, Diggs, Wright, and Treadwell. So the Vikes normally carry 5 or 6 receivers. If they're going to have 2 guys returning, maybe they only would have 5, but active would be 5. So they always do have 6. So they're of the next guys they got 4 guys fighting for 2 positions at the wide receiver position. So I'm going to list those guys off for him. That's Tavares King, and he's 6-foot guy, 189 pounds, played on the Giants last year. Stacy Coley, remember he did some return stuff a little bit for the Vikes last year, 6 foot, 195 pounds, 7th round pick. So he's a second year guy. Caleb Jones, he's got a 4-game suspension, but he was a free agent sign, and we got him from Philly. So he's actually been acquired since end of 2017 season. So according to that, it looks like we've had him for a couple years. Don't really know him. Maybe he's been inactive, but I'm thinking the last guy here, Brandon Zylstra. He's 6'2", 250 pounds, 215 pounds. College was Concordia Moorhead, local guy from Minnesota. Love it. And he played in the CFL 2 seasons, had a really good rookie season, caught, like 34 passes for a bunch of yards, averaged 18 yards a catch. And then in his second season, had 100 catches for 1,700 yards. Amazing season. Amazing season in the CFL. He's coming to the Vikings. He had several pro offers. Zylstra came to the Vikings. He wanted to play for the hometown boys. He's loving it. This is our Thielen, guys. Could we have 2 Thielens on the team? Thielen and Thielen. This is the guy of the future for the wide receiver position. Of these 4 guys, Zylstra needs to stay on the Vikings. I'm reading up all this stuff on Zylstra. They're saying if he's on any NFL roster, they're going to love him. Any NFL team's going to love him. They're going to see this dude is legit. Read up on him. He's been in the CFL for 2 seasons, and he was looking actually out of college, was getting looks from pro teams, but had signed his CFL contract after he didn't get drafted. So he kind of fucked himself. So CFL requires you to play 2 seasons. So he's kind of under the radar. He only got offers from 4 teams, supposedly, like the Jets and a couple other teams, supposedly, but the Vikings had their eyes on him, and they wanted him. He's a local guy. He wants to play here. So if that guy could be our 5, if that guy could come in, Treadwell's coming in for the running plays. We know that. He's going to play some special teams at the 4. But what if our 5 could be Zylstra, a guy who can actually play wide receiver, not just be crappy at it? And he's, as a free agent guy, just making the rookie minimum contract as well. Treadwell making really big money. So this Zylstra guy could be amazing. So I'd say Zylstra as the 5. I think you keep Coley as the 6. Zylstra and Coley. Get rid of King and Jones. Jones is suspended for 4 games, so we're not fucking with that. So I get rid of King and Jones, dump them, keep Coley and Zylstra. Coley for return purposes as a backup, and Zylstra as our complete sleeper, legit guy who can play. So that's 6 receivers. So if the Vikes go with the 6 receivers. And then the tight end position, I mean, they're looking great. Rudy, David Morgan II, and then they drafted Conklin and Blake Bell. I really hope that the Vikes can carry 4 tight ends this year, because that's maybe where they maybe will go 5 wide receiver. You have to look at that. Years past, they've only carried 3. And remember, almost every season we lose at least 1 tight end, it seems like. So I'm hoping that they carry 4 this year. So Bell came in at the end, like it says through waivers, we got him in September. And then, so he was good. And then we drafted Conklin. So Conklin's looking really good too. So I'm liking him. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope we keep all 4 of those guys. Don't cut one single guy. So if you have to just, don't carry 7 wide receivers, just carry the 6. Carry 4 tight ends. You have to have 4 tight ends. Offensive line, I got the news. They're saying that Elflein is beginning camp on the PUP list. Kind of scares me a little bit. What are we going to be doing? What does that mean? So does that mean that Easton is going to be playing center? Like, what's going on in camp? So Remmers is moving to guard. We're going to have Rashad Hill starting at tackle. See, I'm looking at this one website, rosterresource.com, and it's got Elflein listed as an all rookie. But the one thing that's noted on there is he's on the PUP list. So you never know exactly, because remember the ankle, he broke it in the NFC Championship game. That was huge when we lost him that game. So Easton probably going to be moving to center potentially. We got Remmers going to stay inside. They have Avanti Collins. No, he's not playing guard. No, it's going to be Remmers and Elflein, center and right guard. Well, obviously Elflein, so he's on the PUP list. So Easton's probably going to be Actually, you know what? They could be. When you look at these other backups, maybe that's where you do groom a backup center. You know that Elfline's going to be coming back in due time. Just make sure he's not going to be fucked, but make sure we're going to be okay. I mean, if you look at production from Isadora, he performed. He actually did perform in spot positions. I like Danny Isadora, Tom Compton, local guy. Actually, another local guy from local high school somewhere he came. We have to have him as, like they got all these offensive linemen. We need to make sure that we can keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to have at least 9 guys here. And I'm seeing Brian O'Neill, Tom Compton, Rashad Hill, Danny Isadora. Well, this Avanti Collins, I guess they're listing him as the starting right guard. But, I mean, Remmers is going to be the starting right guard. Weird. So, offensive line, they got some options. I'm seeing here, though, that they got all these other guys, and you got to bring new guys in. There's guys who are going to play on the practice squad, and that's just kind of how it works. You hope you can groom somebody. But the offensive line, I mean, the fact that Elfline is going to be on the PUP list, we're hoping that he can keep going after how good of a year he had for his first year. He's starting camp without Cousins. So, I mean, he's on the PUP list. I mean, can he be in a golf cart next to Cousins, like talking to him when Cousins is resting and stuff, and paying attention to what's going on? Like, he's got to be getting snaps ready with Cousins, Elfine and Cousins. That's a center quarterback, and we don't have our center ready. So whoever the backup center is going to be, you look at these guys. I mean, I'm looking at that. They normally only can carry nine offensive linemen, a backup for only 4 backups. And they only have 2 of them active for each game normally, 7 guys. So I like Compton for sure. I love Isadora. I just said that. Brian O'Neill, we drafted. He's for sure on here. Dude's athletic as shit. If you actually look at how athletic he is, he's legit. He's just not giant. He's only 290. He could be one of the fucking most athletic tackles as far as run blocking in the NFL. Like, he could be our starting right tackle. Fuck Avanti Collins. We're putting Remmers over at right guard, and then you put Brian O'Neill right tackle. I like him better than Rashad Hill personally. I personally would rather have Brian O'Neill. I think Hill's they're kind of knowing that you can go, go high on him, like supposedly. There's one saying, if you go high on him, not good. We don't want to get sayings going like that. And the last thing we're going to say here, kicker competition. The kicker competition. I love it. I personally, after the missed field goals, so many of my friends are telling me, hey, everybody's missing extra points. Not Tucker. You look at the best guys, they don't miss them. So it's 20-something yard field goal. Obviously, or whatever, it's now a 29-yard field goal, 30-yard field goal. And Forbath missed how many extra points last season? I mean, I have had enough of them. So I think Daniel Carlson's the new guy. I think he's going to be the new kicker for the Vikes this year. He's going to take over. He's going to be cheaper because he's younger. And drafted in the 5th round, so it's like a really fucking small deal anyways. And Forbath, he's making at least the veteran minimum, if not more. So I'm liking him out. Special teams, Mike Hughes, Marcus Sherrills as the kick returner and punt returner, supposedly. I don't know if Sherrills is going to continue on the Vikes. This is my opinion. I know he's really good in the return game and stuff, but I think we can get better. I think we can get better than, they have him as number 2. Well, that was the power rank. Like, how did he finish? They don't note it. So I think Hughes is going to be better. We got no special teams touchdowns last year. I mean, he had good numbers as far as like an average, but none. Since we lost Cordero Patterson, none. Cordero was the man. Mike Hughes could be the new guy. He signed his contract a few days ago. ready at camp now. And let's kick it back. Vikings, the offense, it's looking great to start the year. The offensive line, like I'm saying, question marks. I'm loving Brandon Zylstra. That was such a great sign. Could be the next Adam Thielen. Next to Adam Thielen, local guy too. Dalvin Cook, be the man. And of course, number 8. We've had a lot of number 8s here in the last few years, but this is the good one. Kirk Cousins, be the man. Do it, Cousins.